This is Enlight Mike, and this is Music Theory from the Beginning. This is Episode 2, Part 1, the musical alphabet. So, let's get started. How many notes are in the musical alphabet? Is it 7, as we see here, or 8, as the word octave implies, or is it 12? It can seem confusing. The system of music theory that we have today developed over time. When the notes A through G were assigned to pitches, these were used in singing. They did assign the letter A to what they thought at the time was the start or the lowest pitch. During this period, they didn't have any sharp or flat notes. Later, when the octave was recognized and the other 6 harmonious notes were added, which gave us the major scale formula, it turned out that it was the key of C that used all natural notes. When starting on A, it was necessary to include sharps. But even the sharps and flats we use today didn't come all at once. Today, we still only use 7 letters of the alphabet, A through G. But even though we only have 7 unique note names, the system of keys uses 8 notes. These 8 notes have been given names for the scale degrees. The note we call the fundamental is usually called the root note, but another name for it is the tonic. The octave, which uses the same note name, is also the tonic, though it would not be the fundamental since it's not the lowest note. The degree name that is most commonly used is the dominant, and it refers to the 5th degree. Whether it is the 3-note chord, called a triad chord, or the 4-note chord, called a 7 chord, or the note itself, they are all referred to as the dominant since they come from the 5th degree. This is the one that you need to remember, as you will run across this name frequently. Okay, so the rest of the names aren't used that often unless you are in a discussion about functional harmony. But let's go through them quickly, all right? The note between the dominant and the tonic is the median. It's right between. The note below the dominant is the subdominant. Between the subdominant and the upper tonic is another middle note, and it's called the submediant. Subdominant, tonic, submediant. That leaves the note above the tonic, and that's called the supertonic. The note below the tonic is called the subtonic, unless in the case of A minor, that would be a subtonic. But in the case of C, that's only half step away. It would be called the leading tone. So now let's put our notes in the proper relative spacing. You can see that this spacing is uneven, and it gives us the major scale formula and leads to the 12 notes we use today. This was covered in Episode 1. 5 of our notes do not have an absolute name. So we want to know, how do we figure out what to call these notes? If we raise a note by half a step, we use that note name and put the sharp sign with it. So A, raised half a step, becomes A sharp, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, F, F sharp, G, G sharp. Now, notice that we don't have a B or an E because there's no space in between B, C, and E, F. That's another thing that needs to be remembered. Now, what about when we lower a note? If we lower a note by half a step, we again use the note name and put a flat sign with it. So going down half a step from A, we have A flat, G flat, E flat, D flat, and B flat. And again, we don't have an F or a C because there's no space in between B, C, and E, F. Now, this is our complete 12-note chromatic scale. All right, now I'm going to demonstrate this on the guitar. Let me switch screens. And here you can see that I have from A, my musical alphabet is starting on A. So here I have an A, 5th fret of the 6th string. Now, 1 fret is equal to 1/2 step. So that's an A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Now, notice from here, A to G sharp is 12 notes. Notice if I go up half a step, 1/2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I go up 12 half steps, I get to my octave. An octave is 12 half steps. That is why open E, 12th fret, E. Open A, 12th fret, A. Okay? Now, how many steps do we go across the strings? That's 5 steps. Now, we started on A. Let's go 5 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 half steps is a D. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure enough, that's a D. Sure enough, it's the same name. Now, we have 5 half steps. If you go up 5 half steps from D, you get to a G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a G. Another 5 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a C. Notice G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a C. Now we're on a C. What happens if we go up 5 steps? Well, we'll just give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on an F. Oops. Check that out. Didn't work. You know why? Because on the 3rd string, from the 3rd string to the 2nd string, we have 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Nice to be on the right string. 3, 3rd string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So you go up 4 half steps from a C. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an E. And sure enough, G, F, E. Okay? So now from the 2nd string to the 1st string, we have 5 half steps again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's an A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One last thing, notice. 5, 10, 15 plus 4 is 19 plus another 5, 24. 2 octaves. Where's the octave in the middle? Watch this. 5, 10, 15. I went up 15, now go down 1, 14, 13, 12. So there are the half steps on my guitar. There is the chromatic scale on my guitar. Obviously, I just showed how this maps out. Now, if I wanted, so right there is my A chromatic scale. So I could start on any note, literally any note, on any string and not even know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's my last note of my chromatic scale starting from this note, and that would be repeat. And what is it? It's an F. Let's move on here and real quickly finish up. We do notice that these extra 5 notes, still, we don't have an absolute name. How do we know which name to use? The question will almost answer itself when we use the chromatic scale to build our keys. Okay, we need to look at our key rules. No, those aren't the most important rules. Ha ha, pun intended. Those are the rules about keys. So we use each of the 7 notes. We never skip a note, and we never repeat a note. We will start building keys using this knowledge.